Greetings. Welcome back. This is Queen Elle from QueenElle79. I'm so glad that you're joining me this evening. This is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. The purpose of this video is for us to gather together to discuss this super pink moon that is coming just in a couple of days. It will be here the evening of Tuesday, April 7th. 2020. It's actually the third super moon that we're having this calendar year, but it will be the biggest, from our purview, the biggest super moon of this year. And if you're not familiar with what a super moon is, it is when the moon is closest to Earth in its elliptical orbit around Earth. So it looks, as the title states, it is very large, and um, it's the way that we're able to see it the brightest and the most luminous during that time. So we've had a couple others, and this one, it's called the super pink moon because this is springtime traditionally. And there are, depending on the area that you're viewing the moon from, because the moon is so bright, it will typically take on the hue of a reflection of whatever it's illuminating. So I've seen images online where if there were, let's say, a field of pinkish, purplish flowers, then the moon did take on a pink or purple hue. So that's where the title comes from. So I'm so glad that we're here today to discuss another full moon and to manifest and to connect more with the spiritual realm, the ancestral realm, and our spirit guides. So let's dive in. I do have um, several hot topics that we'll hit on with our cards today, and I'll do a reading. One thing I want to say, though, in addition, with regard to viewing this super moon on Tuesday evening, so the super moon will be at its peak of 100% illumination for us in the United States at around 9:35 p.m. Central Time. Now, from what I have read during my research, this is not necessarily the time that you want to view it. You may want to view it at its peak size just to see how large the moon will look to you. However, from what I've gathered, you'll only be able to view it for several seconds because it will be so bright because of how close it will be to Earth. And it will be about 200 plus thousand miles away from Earth. So it's still not that close, but it's a lot closer than it typically is. And that's why it will look so large, of course. So around 9:35 p.m., it will reach its peak as far as the orbit goes. Close to the Earth, but from what I've read, the time, if you want to have extended time viewing the supermoon, the best time as far as recommendations go is for me, I'm in Central Time. It's approximately, they say, around moonrise and moonset. And just when it's on the brink of the horizon, as far as where you can see in your area, I will link a website where I was able to get the moonrise and moonset information for my area. You're able to type in your city and state or your county or your country, and it will automatically pop up on any given night the timing of the moonrise and moonset for your area. So again, I'll link that in the description box below. For Central Time, it's 7:12 p.m. is moonrise and 7:12 a.m. on the morning of April 8th. That's moonset. So that's when the moon starts coming up where you can see it, and that's when it starts going down, so to speak. We know that it's not really rising and falling, but that's how it looks to us. So that's the timing if you want to start viewing it, to maybe take a step outside and get some fresh air if you're able to do so. Of course, if you, due to our self-quarantine that's going on right now, if you're not able to step outside for any type of reason, if you have an east facing window, um, you're able, preferably on an upper level floor, you're able to view it that way pretty clearly as well if you have a view where you're able to see out to the sky. Otherwise, I would say it's really all about the intent. If you're not able to view the moon, I will say for me personally, last month's full moon, I did step outside and was facing where the moon was, and because of how overcast the sky was, I wasn't able to see anything. It was very hazy, but the intent was there. I knew that that's where the moon was, and I received it in all its glory. So I will say if you're not able to step outside, don't fret. You can still direct yourself if you either know or have a good sense of direction. You can face that way and still say your affirmations and perform any type of full moon rituals that you would like to do so from inside. If you are not, if you don't really have that sense of direction to determine which direction is east, then you can look online. There are lots of apps that will tell you the direction you're in, or to use some type of navigational system to help you. Okay, that's the great thing about this technology era, is there are so many resources out there for us, and I say take full advantage of them right now while they're still at our disposal. Okay, so I'm really excited, like I said, to be here with you today. And um, again, as I stated in my last full moon video, the full moon part of the lunar cycle, it's all about manifesting. It's all about clearing your energy, clearing your space. Sage is a good way to do that. Also, some people are not really into any type of smoke being used. It's all about your intent again. So you can say your affirmations, like I said. You want to definitely continue on um, with your meditation, and to focus on clearing your mind, focus on just clearing your space, clearing your energy of any type of negativity. Something that I have made a point of doing is, for the most part, I've tried my best to stay away from any type of gossip, any type of drama. So I will say that I'm really good at staying out of, keeping drama away from me in my personal life. But I would say, even as far as what you absorb, what you're willing to take in to your headspace. So I would say, reality television. I hate to say it. I've been someone that would always say that reality television was my guilty pleasure. And I can also admit that it was almost from a judgmental perspective. So I've never been a fighter. I've never been anyone to like really cut anybody down or do anybody wrong. But I would watch reality television and would just be like, and turn my nose up and just, wow, like they're crazy, or they're out of control, saying things like that, or my people, my people. I mean, things like that. And we might, we don't mean any harm by those things. We're just, an observer, right? Well, you can um, make a point within yourself to not bear witness to things like that. You can say, it's a choice. You can say, okay, no, not only am I not going to personally do those things, but I won't take part in it either. And by not taking part in it, that means that I won't watch it. I won't sit and because you can't help but to have some type of thoughts about what you're watching, no matter what it is, whether it's something that's extremely violent or extremely sad. For me personally, I'm an empath, so um, things affect me a lot more strongly. And I feel like if my goal is to be on this quest of self discovery and self development, then it's my duty to make sure that I don't allow any type of negativity to permeate me. I mean, there are those external conflicts that happen maybe within our home that we're not really able to prevent from happening. It's all about how we choose to receive or process what's happening around us, especially during this time. It's more important, more imperative than ever to do what we can to not allow any type of negativity to enter our space, and that includes our spiritual space. Okay, so I've already centered myself. I'm looking down at my journal. I have some different points that I've noted to help me with the questions that I'll be asking the ancestors and the spirit guides with regard to this reading today. So, okay, let's get started. So the first one is, what should we focus on right now? What should we focus on right now? What should we focus on right now? Hmm. Okay, the next one is, what will help us with this? Mm. Okay, what should we let go of? Okay, and what will be the outcome of this time of our lives if we do this, if we follow this direction? Okay, all right. So let's get started with the reading. Now, the first card that I pulled for what should we focus on, it's the Knight of Cups. Now, the interesting thing about this one is I'm not sure if you have visited my Instagram or have been able to check out any of my daily cards that I will pull, and I'll post actually on Instagram, excuse me, Instagram and Facebook. So on Instagram, it's QueenElle79, and it's actually Queen_Elle_79. Elle is spelled just like it is for my YouTube page, ELLE. So I post daily card pulls there. And then on Facebook, it's QueenElle79, just like my YouTube without the underscores. So I pulled this earlier today, and it's the most interesting thing. I've noticed that um, in most recent days that, especially if I'm doing a video like this, that it typically, one of the cards may be one of the cards that I recently pulled. So it's like that message is still ringing true. And this was one of the cards that I pulled today. So definitely check out the message that I gave with regard to that card pull. And again, this is April 5th as I'm speaking. So what this is saying, especially since the question was, what should we focus on? The Knight of Cups. So cups mean, if you want some more information about how the, excuse me, how the different suits of the minor arcana are divided up, then please feel free to check out my video on that with regard to how what all of the different suits mean. So cups, they relate to your emotions, and the Knight of Cups, that is representative of I would say new love, new joy, any type of new youthful emotions. And with regard to this, as far as what we should focus on, it's about going back to that sense of innocence that you had before we became jaded, before life settled in, those life experiences. Life experience is awesome. It's a great teacher to us, but I will say it also can have the ability or the effect of um, causing us to become cynical with life, to desensitize us. And I will say that it's okay to feel right now. A lot of people may either be advising people or giving people an actual emotional band aid. I know with a lot of the challenges going on right now, I will say that they are very entertaining. However, it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. It is okay. It's okay to process this time however you are processing it, as long as you don't dwell on it. And that's excuse me. That's where I feel the Knight of Cups comes in, is that youthful love and joy and emotions come into play. Children, they truly are able to just shake things off. We did not learn to hold on to our angst and our any type of negative circumstances. That's something that we developed over time. I will say that children, they just have that natural innocence about them. And when it comes to love, they're so open to it. They're so open to it. And that's what I would say that this card is speaking to me right now, that as far as what we should focus on that type of energy. Focus on just being just open and just being free to love, free to receive what the spirit guides have to tell you right now, because they're speaking to us, and not just in the literal term as far as what's going on right now, but they're just speaking to us. They've been begging to speak to us all this time, just waiting for it. And right now this is the time. It's no time. I've always said it's no time like the present, but truly, this is the time to allow the spirit guides and the ancestral realm, your angels, the creator, whomever you believe the creator is for you. It's time to open up and to receive all of the love that is there for you to receive. Okay, so that's what we should focus on right now, is love. Now the next one is what will help with this. Now, interestingly enough, the Wheel of Fortune card. So I pulled this one recently, a few days ago, maybe a week ago. So Wheel of Fortune, it's all about the cycle of life. It's all about the cycle of life. Our life ebbs and flows. And I would say that with this being a full moon and how the moon guides the tides, the waves, those are really the waves of our life right now. We're truly seeing with just the world today. A lot of times I've found myself saying, wow, in my lifetime so far, I've never witnessed anything like this happening. I've talked to my parents, they haven't either. But this truly is a cycle that's going on right now, and it's truly just a new era that is panning out for us. And maybe it didn't seem like it would initially, but it is right now. It ultimately is. And we will see there won't be a returning back to normal. There won't be a returning back to the way that things were. Life as we know it is no more. And that's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. It's all about your perception and how you receive what is happening around you, because it's happening whether we would like it to or not. We don't have any control over that. And that's what we need to let go of. So, what will help us to embrace that youthful love and just being open to love is to just know that this is a cycle and this is something that just happens. We're not familiar with this type of thing happening, but it is happening nevertheless. And so it's important for us to view it as a cycle. This is all cyclical, and just to know and trust that the spirit guides, they've got your back, okay? They have us. So this is that Wheel of Fortune. Now, what should we let go of during this time? The Eight of Cups. And so the Eight of Cups, again, the cups have to do with your emotions. I would say something, and I feel like it's very apropos having that moon on the upper part of this card. I would say what it's important for us to let go of is the way of thinking, the way that we were before, what was our sense of security, I would say. It's important for us to let go of that, because I would say that anyone who is most shaken up by what's going on right now, and obviously not in the case of the life or death aspect, because that is real, but anyone who's shaken up in the sense of, just the fear of the unknown and not knowing what to expect from one moment to the next, not knowing who to believe. There's a lot of misinformation that's going on right now that's being distributed. I would say just to let go of the, I remember there was a shock involved initially just, okay, is this real? I can't believe this is happening. I mean, there's that shock and awe factor. But I would say right now at this point, I mean, we've been self-quarantined for several weeks now. So I would say at this point, it's important to release, just let go. And I know it could be easier said than done. Tap into self. Do your meditation. It's important to do that work. Do your meditation. Center yourself. It's important to um, use this time to connect with self. It's important to connect with your loved ones. Use the resources, like I said. Look online. There are plenty of spiritual leaders online. There are plenty of people with messages for all of us online. You will have to kind of use your filter of discernment to determine what is for you and what is not. I've been doing that as well. If I feel led to view a video of someone giving some type of spiritual message, if I'm watching the video and everything seems okay, and then all of a sudden something happens, something is said that just doesn't sit well with me, I click off of it. I'm not forced to watch that. I'm not subjected to whatever is out there. It's all about using your intuition and what you feel led to do, led to watch, led to listen to. Tap into that. That is what's real for you. Just know that everything else is happening. Yes, that's reality, but what's true to you is what's going on within you. So you have to let go of the sense of security that we had. A lot of us, we did not realize that we took so much for granted, but now we're realizing that. And it's important to let go of all of that, release it, and then you'll be able to move on. And moving on does not mean forgetting about how the joy that you had and the things that you did before now. The point of letting go and releasing is about starting fresh, and you won't be able to be open to receive the abundance of what is coming on the horizon as long as you're holding on to the past and those feelings and notions that you had before now. It's important to let go of that. And then the final part, what will be the outcome of this time of our lives if we do this? The outcome is the Seven of Pentacles. So Pentacles have to do with our work. They have to do with um, any sense of power. They can have something to do with finances as well. I know that there's um, everything with regard to our sense of security, like I was saying, is kind of up in the air. But again, it's all about where you place your sense of security. A lot of times we place our livelihood and our what we view um, as what is most safe to us and what we can, trust. We place that in other people's hands. And it's important as you let go of those old notions, those old ways of thinking, those old feelings of security and what was tangible that we could hold on to in our lives. As you let go of that and you release and you open yourself up to receive what is out there for you now, what the new norm will be, then this level of abundance, you'll be able to stand here and to wait with a sense of expectancy, not a sense of impatience, but a sense of expectancy for all that there is for you to receive moving forward. There's so much to receive on the horizon, and I want you to know with this moon cycle, we will feel even more so than we typically feel on a standard full moon cycle. With this one, with the moon being that much closer to us, we will feel that additional sense of connectedness. I'm telling you, as a collective, it's so important more now than ever before for you to really embrace all that there is for you. There's such an abundance. When I was smudging um, throughout my house earlier this evening, that's the word that kept coming to me, abundance. And there truly is an abundance that's just waiting on the horizon for us. And it's important to you, for you, to release, let go of everything, not just what no longer serves you, but releasing anything that you were holding on to, any old notions and those old emotions that you had tied to your sense of security. release it, let go, and then you'll open yourself up to receive all that there is for you to receive, okay? So this is Queen Elle. Again, please check out my Instagram and my Facebook, QueenElle79. I will list those handles in the description box, as well as the website that I mentioned so that you can find out for your area the Moonrise and Moonset times for this upcoming super pink moon cycle. And I will be in touch. So thank you so much, Ashe. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions or need any additional guidance. Be blessed.